Hi guys, I wanted to talk to you guys about the product or about the brand I've been trying to work on since 2018. At the end of 2018, I decided that I wanted to get into the rice business, and beginning of 2019, I finally had my first couple of containers, and that's how I got into the rice business. And I would like to share as much knowledge I have gained over the past 3.5 years or so, so you guys can make better choices when you guys are in the grocery aisles, and you could be a much more informed buyer, and you know what sort of rices are available in the market. Now, I import all of this rice from Pakistan, and only Pakistan. So all the rice you see over here, they have been imported from Pakistan. And since we are in Canada, so I'll be only talking about the Canadian segment, or the Canadian supermarkets, or the Canadian buyer and consumer. So most of the references I will be giving, it's regarding the Canadian market. Now, most of the stuff in the rice will be pretty much same across anywhere in the world. But again, if I'm making a comparison with reference to the Canadian market. All right, so I will start off with explaining you some of the rice we have displayed out over here. Um, First of all, what you guys need to understand that there are many varieties of rice. Uh, Basmati rice is usually coming out from the province of Punjab in India and Pakistan. Now, there's also, maybe not, but to put it in plain English, there's either a non basmati rice and then there's a basmati rice. So, though the two rice they might look the same, but not necessarily means that this is a basmati rice. And when you're gonna go out in the grocery stores, or when you're talking to your friends, family, and colleagues, they will be like, "Okay, I'm using this rice or I'm using that rice." Uh, doesn't necessarily mean that they are using basmati rice. As I said, they all look the same, but they are slightly different. Okay, so after the rice it's been harvested or whatever not, there are a couple of processes it goes through. A being sela, or also known as the parboiled, and then there's another process called steam, which is, I'm gonna say, it's basically parboiling it, but half parboiled. So it's not 100% parboiled; it's like 50% parboiled. So let's start off with showing you. This is my premium basmati, and so whenever you are uh, looking at rice, you want to make sure that you are looking at against a black surface. So all the grains you can see, you can lay them out, and then you can see, you can differentiate among them. Now, if you would see it very carefully, you would see that there's two shades in this rice. This rice is known as steam rice, or what you would like to call it, half parboiled or whatever not. Okay, now moving on to a full parboiled rice, and this is another one. So, all right, so the rice you guys are looking right now is exactly the same rice. So when they're being harvested, or when they come out from the ground, they are essentially technically the same rice, but one goes into 50% parboil method, and then this goes in 100% parboil method. So you can see the difference, that this has a little bit of a slight shade or a slight tint of almost like, I'm not going to really say brown, but it's sort of like off-white. So if you want to see both of them side by side, So next time you guys are buying rice, those are two things you guys gotta look for. Now, what's the major difference between both of them? Sela or parboil is obviously easier to cook. If you do not consider yourself a good cook, well, then this rice will make you look like a superstar. No brainer, no effort required. You soak it for 45 minutes, an hour, and off you go. It can take a lot of heat. It can stand a lot of high temperatures, whereas this one, which is basically half parboiled or half steam method, whatever you would like to call it, it cannot withstand a lot of heat. Now, again, to each their own. This does require some sort of skills. If you do not consider yourself a good cook, well, maybe this is not the rice you want to start off with. If you just consider yourself an average cook and you're not the greatest, Sela or parboiled premium basmati is the way to go, and it won't let you down. Okay, now moving on to the last kind, which is raw or basically untreated. Like you just take it. This is my packaging for the jar. All the jars, they come like this. Now, this rice is actually from almost 2018 crop. So it's been naturally aged. And when you're gonna open the seal, you can smell the raw aroma of the rice. And each rice would have their own distinctive aroma. Not all the rice would have exactly the same aroma. So obviously on the camera, you guys cannot smell it, but it's perfect. Now, this is called Super Kernel Basmati. Now, the only difference between this guy and the premium Basmati is that this is half. So again, this is 50% steam or 50% parboiled, whereas this one is raw. Okay, so now let's take some of it out. Okay, so you can see that the grains, they are not as long, or I don't know if you could see it in the camera, but if you were to compare it with the premium basmati, the grains are not as long, and this one is naturally aged. So whatever the colors you see in it, you won't see any two shade colors or some sort of like a parboiled color, like a creamy color like this guy. That one has its own color, and it's been aging naturally. It's just been milled for sort of to just get the broken rice or broken grains out of it. But other than that, it's in its raw form, and it smells good. It tastes good. Not a lot of people might opt for that one just because everyone wants to go for a longer grain and yada yada yada. But to me, that rice tastes really good, smells really good. It does fall a bit short on the length. So next time you guys are in the grocery aisles, what do you guys want to look for, or if you guys can see the rice before you are buying, is it's either parboiled, does it have a slight creamy color or almost like a brown tint in there? Is it half parboiled? As you can see that there's two shades in there. As you can see, there's a little bit of off-white, and then it's like has a little bit of more milkier color in the center. Or you want to go with a raw basmati, which has been aging naturally. No preservatives, no additives, nothing in there. That's just in its raw state form. So there are pros and cons, as I was telling you guys. Sela, if you have zero skills, go for it. It's gonna make you look like a superstar. Premium basmati does require a little bit of skills, but again, like you can probably master it after using half a jar, or some people might need to use 2 jars, and they will sort of get a hang of it. Super Kernel, as I said, it's very underrated rice. If you do not care about length and you only care about smell, taste, and this one has a pretty much sort of, you can say, a conservative cooking. So it does not change too much. It's very easy to handle. the boiling temperature or the boiling time. You can sort of just like you can get used to of it pretty easily. Whereas premium basmati does require a little bit of work, and this one, no work at all. Okay, now these are just the packaging. So basically, this is in a 5.5 pound jar. This is 10 pounds. Same thing for this guy, 5.5 pound jar. That's in 10 pounds. Super Kernel is only and only available right now in 5.5 pound jars. Again, if you are in Canada, if you would like to try any of these jars for free, I will leave my contact number in the description. Do get a hold of me, and you can get any of these jars if you would like to do a review or you want to try it out. Okay, so moving on to the white rice. Here's the white rice, and as you can see, the grains are a little bit more shorter. They are sort of stubby, and again, a lot of people are selling this rice, saying that this is basmati. I honestly think that that's not fair to the end user. It is just white rice. Or even in Pakistan, when you're buying, they would call it a non-basmati rice. Again, you can see it. It's very famous rice. A lot of Asian community uses it. A lot of Chinese restaurants, they buy this from me. Very easy to cook. You can put this in the rice cooker, steam it up, and it is very good. The taste on this is amazing. So I'm gonna say this is probably one of the entry levels rice which I have. It is the best bang for the buck. They are all reasonably priced, and this one really, like, I enjoy cooking this rice. It's easy. You cannot screw it up, and has a very consistent cooking. As you can see, only comes in that size available right now. So that's 10 kilos or 22 pounds. Now, that's the bigger one of the Sela, the 40 pounder you see over there. And then we have another 40 pounder of the premium basmati. So I also have the last rice, which I would like to talk to you guys about, is on the far right over there. It's called Pakistan Gold, and that was recently added, and I decided to add that rice earlier, 2020, I believe. And what that rice is, or what makes it a bit different, that it is a little bit more resilient to the temperature. That is also a Sela, or like a parboiled basmati, what you guys would like to call it. But it is good if you want to leave your rice for longer duration, and you want to steam it, or if you're trying to cook something with meat, you want to add in, and you want to leave it for longer time, for longer duration on heat. I'll open the bag and I'll show you guys in a second. All right, so I have a bit of sample here in the plate. Again, I'm gonna stress it or repeat it one more time. Anytime you guys wanna see a rice, make sure you have it on a dark black plate, lay it out, and then look for all the grains. So this is Pakistan Gold. I don't know if you can see in the camera, but it has a little bit of darker color, longer duration, takes a little bit longer to cook. Taste still the same, really good taste. Now, what I would like to do is I would like to do a side-by-side comparison of premium basmati, which I showed you guys earlier, and the Pakistan Gold, just to give you guys sort of an idea of the color. So this being premium basmati on the left, that's Pakistan Gold on the right. Also, when you're out in the market, doesn't matter what rice you're buying, try to look for, you need to see some sort of consistency in the grains. Make sure they're consistent. The average grain length, it is almost similar. Look for some impurity. If you see some grains that you think they do not belong in the jar or in the bag, probably it means that it's not some sort of pure rice. For Canadian market, for Canadian segment, I'm gonna say if you guys are going out there and you're looking for good basmati, usually good basmati in grocery aisles, it starts over 14 bucks, 13 bucks, 15 bucks for 10 pound. Anything you see under 10 bucks, in my opinion, stay away from it. It's not really basmati, and you're just gonna waste your time buying some cheap rice, which people are marketing as basmati. Nothing against anyone's brand, whatever they're doing. I'm pretty sure everyone is working hard, but this is just to sort of bring some sort of awareness to the end user that if you're looking for good basmati, you want good length, good taste, you want good cooking time, and easy to cook. Try to go for some basmati. Doesn't matter you're buying it from Pakistan, from India, uh, any country, either or they're coming from, because basmati can only come from either Pakistan or India as of right now. So it's up to you. But just be aware that what are you bringing home. Try to bring good quality products, and end of the day, that's all that matters. So what I'm gonna be doing next, I'm gonna be giving you guys a cooking review on. I'm gonna try to